Hal Straup and me decided that we wanted to save the depot. CSX Railroad wanted $10,000 for it. So Hal Straup and me started raising money. Well, I was a member of the Historical Association, and I just, Hal Straup and me just wanted to save it.
One thing you should definitely show in your video is the pictures on the wall behind you, which shows what the waiting room was, or the depot was like when it was ready to be demolished. Had a hole in the roof big enough to drive a car through.
So Hal Straup and me got the $10,000 and we bought it. It's all this floor in here, I put all this down. It was completely gone. Well, different people donated. We kept raising a little bit of money along till.
And with the help of several grants, it has been restored to its former glory, I think.
The city, we gave it to the city on account of tax purposes. So the city lets us use it for nothing. We don't pay no electrical or anything. Well, it's a big part of history. It used to be a cotton gin that was attached to the depot on the other end. It's all tore down now, but the old platform and all is yet sitting there. I don't remember much about it when it was in operation. I've been in it when it was in operation. Well, the red lanterns meant for the train to stop, and they waited to get him to stop. And that meant there's something on the track or something broke. The green, they just meant all aboard or go. Daddy ordered something that came in, we had to pick it up out here. It would have been back in the early 60s, I guess. This was the end of the line right here. They turned around on a wire and went back. They brought houses in. There's one here in Cherryville that was brought in by the train. They brought in Confederate gold down, and it's unloaded here and put on a wagon. And somewhere between here and Kings Mountain, they buried it. Nobody's been able to find it.
I don't know whether you told everybody about the fact that when the depot was built, it was segregated. This is the waiting room. one waiting room, 2 windows. One window to each waiting room. Each waiting room has 2 bathrooms. So there was a black waiting room and a white waiting room. Strictly segregated. Each waiting room had its own street entrance, and each waiting room had its own track entrance. So it's a physical reminder of how bad things were for the black people when things were segregated.
Well, I think the railroad was actually basically the upbringing of Cherryville. During the Civil War, this was actually the terminus of the Carolina Central Railroad because they didn't have enough steel to build all the way down to Rutherfordton. That's how it ended up getting connected to the rest of the world, because, you know, back then, all the roads, they were just dirt and there was only horses.
Well, I think the perfect example of what Robert is saying is the Lawndale dummy, that when they built it, the people would take the train from Lawndale to Shelby because it was too far. It was like 17 miles. They couldn't walk, they couldn't take a horse and buggy. But the train just tore through the countryside at the unbelievable speed of 10 miles an hour. So you could make the trip to Shelby in under 2 hours. And then the ladies would have all day to shop. And it was only 2 hours back to Lawndale.
Can I tell you a fact about the depot? Please. In the depot, there was this people battling, and the people wanted it to be a model railroad club, but there was these other people that wanted it to be like a flowers, like you could sell flowers. And like, it's like made for trains, so that's how they won.
Yeah, it's just absolutely mandatory that a town has a train station. It's just, it's not an option to not have a train station.
But I think if you talk to anybody that sits in traffic for an hour on Interstate 85 trying to get into Charlotte from points west would say, definitely need an intercity transit system for Charlotte. I told my wife I always wanted to have a model railroad layout, and so I built one at the house, and then she said she saw something in the paper about the depot up in Cherryville, had a model railroad club. So at her urging, I went up to the meeting, and I've been coming here twice a week for the last 25 years. We're open every Thursday night from 7 to 9, and every Saturday from 10 to 12. Admission, of course, is free. And because the city actually owns the building, we have an arrangement with the city. After July parade or something, we're open for the visitors, and they let us set up our model trains in the building here, and they don't charge us any rent, and we don't pay for the electricity or anything else. And as a result, the dues in the club are $5 a month.
Well, I don't know, they just come and they look around and we tell them as much history of it as we can.
One day I was like, I want to come to the club when everybody else is there. And he was like, I don't know, might not like it. And I was like, I want to try it. And I ended up really liking it, and I made it a routine to start coming here. It's a nice way to run trains in real life without being on a computer. And you get to have a community that also really likes trains. I mean, I just like running trains with him, doing operations with him, building stuff with him, all that stuff, you know?
Robert is into rail fanning, and he likes to come here because we have a platform, of course. Perfect place to view trains. Once or twice a year, people stop by and say, you know, Grandpa died, we don't know what to do with this train, so they donate them to us. So we have a lot more tracks and locomotives and railroad cars and structures than we could possibly use. So if somebody wants to get into model railroading, just stop by and we will equip you free of charge.
So this is my CSX. George was giving away for his trains, if you know who that is. He was giving away his trains because his wife probably told him that he has too much or something.
This engine I'm holding, it's an Amtrak engine. This is one of the most iconic Amtrak locomotives. They call this the F40PH, the type of model.
I'm actually being one of the youngest people. Like, I'm one of the youngest people. I think I'm the youngest person to be a part, 11, to be a part of this club.
Having more of us younger people keep on going for the club.
Model trains come in different scales. The smallest that we have here is N scale. And then the next scale up is HO scale, that's 1 to 87. That's the most popular. 75% of model train enthusiasts use HO. The next step up is Lionel. That's got 3 tracks, and everybody knows Lionel because model trains from Lionel have been around the longest. So many guys my age remember their first train set under the Christmas tree was a Lionel. And then the next scale up is G scale. That's the overhead train. Hopefully we will see you New Year's Day, because as you know, in Cherryville there are 2 groups of shooters, and both groups stop by the depot on New Year's Day. And so we're always open, the coffee pot's on, the bathrooms work, and while you're waiting for a train or the shooters, you can look at the model trains.
Well, I'm kind of into history, a lot of it, but I've always liked trains. I've always been into that, and always been into Mall Railroad. I think the depot actually makes Cherryville.
Why?
Yeah. There's a lot of people wanting it tore down, but it didn't happen.